Every single morning when you wake up, there's a war waiting for you. Not out there in the world, but right here, inside your own mind. A battle between who you are and who you could, between comfort and commitment, between distraction and discipline. And every single choice you make decides which side wins. You see, most people lose the day before it even begins. Not because they don't have the potential, but because they never take control of their focus. They let the world decide what deserves their attention. They wake up and grab their phone before they even grab their purpose. They scroll through everyone else's life before they even take a second to think about their own. That's why they stay stuck, because their mind is being trained to chase everything except what actually matters. But you're not like most people. You're here because deep down, when you know you were built for more, you know there's a version of you that's sharper, hungrier, more focused. A version that doesn't get distracted by noise, by opinions, by comfort. The problem is that version doesn't show up by accident. It has to be built. It has to be trained through pressure, through focus, through the choice to stay locked in when everyone else drifts off. You have to become the kind of person who treats every second like it counts, who doesn't waste energy on things that don't move the mission forward. Because if you want to win the day, you've got to own your focus. You've got to control what gets your attention, or your attention will control you. The truth is, focus is power. It's the difference between those who dream about success and those who live it. It's the difference between potential and performance, between trying and achieving. You can have all the talent in the world, but if your mind is scattered, your power is diluted. Every distraction you entertain takes energy away from the goal. Every time you let fear or doubt into your mind, you're feeding weakness. But when you channel everything, your energy, your effort, your thoughts into one direction, that's when you become unstoppable. That's when average becomes exceptional. That's when ordinary turns legendary. So before this day ends, make a decision that you're done letting distractions run your life. You're done letting other people's noise drown out your own purpose. You're done giving your time and focus to things that don't build you. From this moment forward, every breath, every move, every thought has a target. No more wasted motion, no more wasted potential. Because today isn't just another day, it's a chance to prove that your mind, your focus, and your hunger are stronger than anything standing in your way. This is where it starts. This is where the weak get filtered out and the focus rise. And if you're ready to win the day, it starts right now. Every single day when you open your eyes, you're standing at the edge of a battlefield. And the first battle is not against the world. It's against yourself. It's against that voice that says, 5 more minutes. It's against that feeling of comfort that changed you to mediocrity. The truth is, how you start your morning determines everything that comes after. The energy, the mindset, the momentum, it's all set in those first few moments after you wake up. You either dominate your morning or you lose your day before it even begins. That's the brutal truth. And most people never win their days because they never take their morning seriously. They roll out of bed late, check their phone, scroll through social media, and then wonder why their life feels out of control. They think success starts at noon, but champions know it starts before sunrise. If you want to win the day, you've got to make your morning sacred. You got to build a routine that locks you in before distractions even have a chance to touch you. You wake up before the world does, and you set the tone. Because the morning is when the weak are asleep and the strong are working. That's where separation happens. That's where hunger is built. That's where focus sharpens. You can't control everything that happens throughout the day. The world throws chaos, obstacles, and distractions your way. But you can control the way you start it. And when you start your day with power, purpose, and discipline, the rest of the day bends to your will. There's something powerful about beating the sun. When you're awake before the light hits the sky, you feel something different inside. It's quiet. It's peaceful. It's you versus you versus you. That silence is your opportunity to plan, to grind, to reflect, to prepare for war. Because make no mistake, every day is war. War against procrastination, laziness, temptation, and the old version of you that's always waiting to drag you back to average. The reason you feel stuck is because you start your mornings like everyone else. You wake up reactive instead of proactive. instead of proactive. You check messages before you check your mission. You respond to the world before you respond to your own purpose. That's not winning. That's surrender. Winning your morning means making a decision that nothing comes before your growth. Not your phone, not the news, not other people's opinions. The moment you open your eyes, you set your intention, you speak it, you own it. Today I win. Today I execute. Today I lead. That mindset transforms everything, because when you wake up and move with purpose, you carry that fire through the entire day. You think sharper, you move faster, and you don't waste time debating whether to do what needs to be done. You just do it. That's the difference between people who talk about goals and people who actually hit them. Let me be real with you. Most people are not lazy all the time. They just start slow. They waste the first few hours of the day doing nothing that fuels them. And by the time they decide to get serious, their mind is already scattered, their energy is gone, and their motivation has faded. The morning is your foundation. You can't build a strong life on a weak foundation. If your morning lacks structure, your life will lack progress. So wake up earlier, move your body, feed your mind, speak gratitude, visualize your goals. Do whatever it takes to charge your soul before the world drains it. Think about this. When an athlete trains for a big game, they warm up, they stretch, they focus, they get their body and mind ready to perform. The morning is your warm-up for the game of life. If you don't prepare properly, you'll step onto the field tired, distracted, and unready. And then when life hits you, you'll crumble. But if you dominate your morning, if you enter your day already fired up, already locked in, then nothing can break your rhythm. You'll move through challenges with focus and power. You'll handle setbacks like a warrior because your mind is already in the zone. Winning the morning also means protecting it from negativity. The first thing most people do is let the outside world dump garbage into their mind. Bad news, online drama, messages that steal your peace. Then they wonder why they feel anxious, unmotivated, and unfocused. But when it's protect their energy, they don't let the world dictate their mood. They build their mindset first, then face the world with strength. When you take control of your morning, you take control of your morning, you take control of your emotions. You take control of your attitude. You take control of your destiny. Don't underestimate the power of small actions early in the day. Making your bed, reading a few pages, praying, working out, journaling. These things sound simple, but they send a message to your subconscious that says, I'm in charge. And once your brain registers that you're the one in control, it will obey you throughout the rest of the day. Every disciplined action early becomes a ripple that multiplies. And by the time others are just getting started, you've already created momentum. That's why high achievers look calm under pressure. They've already won half the battle before most people even wake up. There will be days when you don't feel like doing it. Those are the days that define you. And because winning your morning when it's easy doesn't mean much. Winning your morning when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when you're overwhelmed, that's when you're building character. That's when you're proving to yourself that discipline runs deeper than motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline becomes who you are. And once you build that identity, nobody can take it from you. Every great comeback story starts with one powerful morning decision. To not give up, to not hit snooze, to not settle for average. The morning is your reset button. It's your opportunity to rewrite the story before the world tells you who you are. That's why when it's protected like gold, they understand that the morning is where you win or lose the day. So ask yourself, how are you showing up when the alarm goes off? Are you rising to meet your goals, or are you sleeping through your potential? Because life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. The world doesn't pause while you hit snooze. You either wake up and chase your dream, or you wake up and watch someone else live it. And the difference between those two outcomes comes down to one simple truth. Who dominates their morning? Winning the day starts before the clock starts ticking. So tomorrow, when your eyes open, don't move slow. Don't negotiate with your excuses. Move with power. Move with purpose. To move like someone who refuses to waste another sunrise. Because if you can own your morning, you can own your life. And when you own your life, no one, no circumstance, no setback, no distraction can stop you from becoming everything you were meant to be. Every single day you are being tested. Tested by comfort, by distraction, by doubt, and by the easy path that whispers, take a break. It's fine. You've done enough. But deep down, you know the truth. The world doesn't reward talkers, it rewards doers. It doesn't care about what you plan to do, it cares about what you actually did. Consistency is the difference between those who dream about success and those who live it. Winning the day isn't about random bursts of energy. It's about showing up every single time, even when you don't feel like it. The grind doesn't respect emotion. It respects repetition. It respects discipline. It respects the person who keeps showing up when nobody else does. You see, most people treat success like a lottery. They hope one big action, one big moment, one big opportunity will change everything. But real winners understand it's not about one big move. It's about hundreds of small, consistent ones stacked on top of each other every single day. You don't rise to the level of your motivation. You fall to the level of your habits. And if your habits are weak, if your routines are sloppy, if your focus is inconsistent, then your results will reflect it. The world is full of talented people who never make it. Not because they didn't have the potential, but because they couldn't stay consistent long enough to turn that potential into greatness. Consistency isn't sexy. It's not glamorous. It's not the highlight reel you post online. It's the quiet work when nobody's watching. It's the lonely nights when you're still pushing, still learning, still improving while everyone else has given up. It's choosing progress over pleasure. It's doing the boring, unappreciated things that build mastery. Everyone wants the results, but very few are willing to embrace the process. And the process, my friend, requires you to show up even when the fire fades, even when you're tired, even when you're not sure it's working, because that's when you build something real. The reason most people never reach their potential is simple. They confuse movement with progress. They do a little bit here and there, get excited for a week, then stop. They start strong, but when it gets hard, when the motivation fades, they retreat back into comfort. Winners don't operate like that. Winners build consistency into their DNA. They don't rely on feelings, they rely on standards. They decide that their goals are non-negotiable, that their habits are sacred. They don't wake up and ask, "Oh, do I feel like it today?" They wake up and say, "This is what I do." Consistency builds credibility with yourself. Every time you keep your word to yourself, you strengthen your identity as a winner. But every time you break it, every time you say you'll do something and don't, you erode your own trust. And once that trust is gone, it's hard to believe in yourself again. That's why staying consistent matters more than any motivational speech or inspirational moment. Because consistency is how you prove to yourself that you can be trusted to execute. It's how you build momentum. It's how you create an unstoppable mindset that refuses to quit no matter how long it takes. People love to say they're grinding. They love to post about other hustle. But here's the truth. If you're not consistent, you're just pretending. Talk all you want. But if your actions aren't repeated, disciplined, and reliable, you're not really grinding, you're dabbling. The grind is about consistency when no one's watching, when there's no applause, when there's no reward in sight. That's when your true character is revealed. Because success doesn't come from one great day. It comes from hundreds of average days done with excellence. It comes from doing the right thing again until it becomes who you are. Consistency separates the amateurs from the professionals, the dreamers from the doers, the ones who almost made it from the ones who actually did. You can't be great if you're part-time about your purpose. You can't expect full-time results with half-time effort. The truth is you either stay consistent or you stay stuck. There's no middle ground. Every time you skip a day, every time you choose comfort over commitment, you lose momentum. And momentum is the most powerful force in success. It's what keeps you going when motivation disappears. It's what gives you that edge, that internal drive that says, I'm not stopping until I win. There will be days when it feels pointless, days when you don't see results, days when the effort feels invisible. But those are the days that build you the most. Because while you might not see it, every act of consistency is planting a seed. Every time you show up, you're adding another brick to the foundation of your future. And one day, all those unseen hours, all those unnoticed efforts will explode into visible results. But it only happens for those who didn't quit halfway. Think about it. A bodybuilder doesn't transform overnight. A musician doesn't master their craft in a week. A business doesn't grow from one idea. It's the grind, the repetition, the small steps taken over time that create greatness. The problem is most people get bored before they get better. They stop when it's not exciting anymore. They stop when the results don't come fast enough, but the best don't stop. They double down. They understand that greatness grows slow, quietly behind closed doors, in the unseen hours of consistent action. If you want to win the day, you've got to win the small moment. The choices you make between comfort and growth, between distraction and discipline, between talking and executing, that's where success lives. Every time you choose discipline over emotion, you add another day to your winning streak. And once you build that streak long enough, it becomes unstoppable. Your life becomes a product of consistency, not luck. Consistency also builds confidence, because when you know you've been putting in the work, when you know you've been showing up day after day, you stop doubting yourself. You stop asking, can I do this? And start saying, I've earned this. That's the quiet power of consistent effort. It makes you fearless. It gives you proof. You don't need to hype yourself up because your habits already prove who you are. You become dangerous, not because of talent, but because of relentless follow-through. So stop trying to be perfect and start being consistent. Stop worrying about how long it'll take and focus on how long you're willing to stay disciplined. The dream doesn't belong to the one who wants it the most. It belongs to the one who refuses to give up. You've got to become obsessed with showing up. Not sometimes, not when it's easy. Every single day. Because when you commit to consistency, you don't just win the day, you win your life. And remember this, discipline compound. Every small win builds momentum for the next one. Every consistent action strengthens your willpower. Every day you show up is another day you separate yourself from the average. The world may not notice now, but one day they'll look at you and call you a lucky. They'll say, you came out of nowhere. But you'll know the truth. You didn't come out of nowhere. You came from the grind, from the repetition, from the countless days you chose consistency when nobody believed in you. That's what it means to win the day. It's not about one massive effort. It's about stacking small, consistent victories until the world can no longer ignore your discipline. It's not about waiting for the perfect time. It's about showing up no matter the time. It's not about being motivated. It's about being committed. Because in the end, consistency is what transforms ordinary people into extraordinary ones. It's what turns the impossible into the inevitable. And once you master it, every single day becomes an opportunity to win. Not by luck, but by choice. You can't win the day if your mind is at war with itself. That's the truth most people don't want to face. You can have all the talent, all the opportunity, all the potential in the world. But if your mind isn't locked in, if your focus isn't sharp, you will sabotage yourself before life even has a chance to challenge you. The battlefield of success isn't out there. It's in here, inside your head. Inside your head. Every doubt, every distraction, every negative voice that tells you to slow down, to give up, to settle. That's the real enemy. And if you don't learn how to control it, it will control you. Mental toughness isn't a gift. It's a skill. It's something you build through pressure, through repetition, through choosing focus when your emotions want to scatter you in every direction. When people say every notification, every post, every voice online is fighting for your attention, and if you let it win, you lose. Not because you weren't capable, but because you gave your energy away to things that don't move you forward. That's why mental discipline is so rare. Because it takes strength to say, I'm not giving my attention to things that don't align with my purpose. It takes courage to choose silence over noise, solitude over validation, and purpose over popularity. The mind of a champion is calm under chaos. It doesn't react, it responds. It doesn't chase distractions, it stays grounded in the mission. You have to train your thoughts the same way an athlete trains their body, through repetition, through resistance, through intentional control. Every time you catch yourself drifting off, every time your thoughts try to wander into fear or comparison, you have to pull yourself back. That's mental reps. That's how you build a mind that refuses to quit. People think success is about doing more, but sometimes it's about doing less. Less worrying, less reacting, less explaining, less scrolling, and more executing. When you learn to protect your focus like your life depends on it, everything changes because it does depend on it. Your future depends on what you give your attention to. Most people are mentally weak because they don't know how to sit in silence. They always need something to distract them. Music, conversations, entertainment, validation. They can't handle being alone with their thoughts. But that's exactly where growth happens. You have to face your thoughts, your fears, your doubts head on. You have to learn to silence the noise inside before you can handle the noise outside. Because if your inner world is chaotic, the smallest obstacle will destroy your outer one. The stronger your mind, the less life can shake you. When your focus becomes unbreakable, no setback, no failure, no delay can pull you off your path. Mental toughness is built through struggle. Every time you stay calm when things go wrong, every time you stay focused when everything around you is chaos, you're building strength. You're teaching your brain that it doesn't control you, you control it. That's why winners don't panic, they adjust, they don't break down, they break through. They've trained their mind to see pressure as power, not punishment. They've learned to control their emotions so their emotions don't control them. When you master your mind, you master your reality. But mastering your mind doesn't mean ignoring your emotion. It means managing them. It means understanding that emotions are signals, not orders. You can feel tired, you can feel afraid, you can feel frustrated, but that doesn't mean you stop. You acknowledge the emotion, but you don't let it make your decisions. You decide based on your goals, not your mood. That's what separates winners from everyone else. Most people only work hard when they feel good. Champions work hard regardless. They've trained their mind to obey their vision, not their feelings. You got to stop feeding your mind with strength instead of weakness. Stop listening to the voice that says, it's too hard. Stop replaying your failures in your head. Stop doubting your worth every time something goes wrong. You have to reprogram your thoughts to match the life you want to live. Tell yourself, I can handle this. I've got this. I've been through worse and I'm still standing. Because the truth is, your thoughts become your reality. If you think weak, you'll act weak. If you think strong, you'll act strong. The mind follows what you feed it. And here's something most people don't realize. Mental focus isn't built by accident. It's built by intention. You have to design your environment for focus. Eliminate distraction, create structure, protect your peace. Every time you allow nonsense into your mind, negative people, toxic news, pointless arguments, you're weakening your focus. You have to create boundaries so your mental energy stays pure. Because once your focus is divided, your results are diluted. You can't expect to live a focused life if your surroundings are chaotic. Think about every great achiever in history, athletes, inventors, leaders, creators. They all shared one thing, an unshakable focus. They weren't the smartest or the most talented, but they were obsessed with their mission. They shut out the world. They said no to distractions, no to excuses, no to comfort. Their entire mind was consumed by one thing, winning. That's what it means to be locked in. It's not about balance, it's about obsession. It's about giving your full attention to what matters most and refusing to let anything take it away. You've got to become that type of person, the one who's so focused that people can't distract you, so mentally strong that negativity can't touch you, so locked in that failure can't stop you. You've got to be so dialed into your purpose that your energy, your thoughts, your time all serve one direction, forward. That's what it means to have mental focus, to be fully present, fully driven, fully intentional with every breath you take. Because every distraction you entertain is a victory for your excuses. And every time you choose focus, you move one step closer to your destiny. Winning the day starts with winning your mind. And winning your mind means taking control. Control over your thoughts, your reactions, your focus, your energy. It means saying, I decide what I give power to. I decide what I allow into my head. I decide where my attention goes. Once you understand that, you stop living like a victim of distraction and start living like a master of purpose. The world can throw chaos. People can doubt you. Circumstances can shift. But none of that matters when your mind is unshakable. So guard your focus like it's the most valuable thing you own. Because it is. Feed your mind with strength. Starve your distractions. And remind yourself every day that mental focus isn't something you wait for. It's something you choose. Over and over until it becomes who you are. Because the day you master your focus is the day you start winning. Not by chance, but by design. That when it's all said and done, the day doesn't belong to the loudest person or the most talented or the most confident. It belongs to the one who showed up locked in and refused to get distracted. The day belongs to the one who silenced the noise, ignored the temptation to quit, and focused on winning one small moment at a time. You got to understand something. Life will keep testing your focus. It will throw chaos, pain, boredom, and doubt at you just to see if you'll break. But if you can keep your eyes on the mission through it all, if you can stay grounded when everything around you is shaking, that's when you truly start to win. Because success isn't about doing one big thing right. It's about doing 1,000 small things with discipline, consistency, and focus. Most people lose not because they lack ability, but because they lose concentration. They get halfway to their dream and start checking who's watching. They start caring about validation instead of results. They let small distractions steal big opportunities. But those who win the day, they don't play that game. They stay locked in, even when nobody's clapping. They understand that real greatness happens in silence, in those unseen hours when nobody's around to give you credit. Because if you can win in private, you'll win in public. You'll win in public. If you can conquer your distractions, you can conquer your world. Every single day is a test of your focus, a test of your hunger, a test of how bad you want it. You're either mastering your mind or letting it master you. You're either controlling your environment or being controlled by it. Every moment you choose focus, every time you push through when your mind says stop, you're proving to yourself that you're built different. And that's what this is all about. Proving to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses, sharper than your distractions, tougher than your circumstances. The truth is, you don't get another today. You can't replay it. You can't rewind it. You can't relive it. Once it's gone, it's gone. So make it count. Don't let small distractions steal big dreams. Don't let temporary feelings kill permanent goals. You owe it to yourself to finish strong, to show the world that your focus is unbreakable, that your drive can't be stopped. Because once you decide that nothing can pull you off your mission, you become unstoppable. You stop chasing validation and start chasing victory. You stop wasting time and start making history. So when you wake up tomorrow, remember this. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need perfect focus. Win the morning. Win the moment. Win the moment. Win the mindset. And before you know it, you'll look back and realize that every single day you stayed focused was another step closer to the life you were meant to live. Because winning the day isn't just about success. It's about becoming the kind of person who refuses to be distracted from destiny.